You came to Eastern as a student, I guess, a year before Bob Martin came as president.
Yes.
For those of you that aren't as tuned into the history of Eastern as Paul and I are, we're talking about a period of time starting in 1960 when Bob Martin became president for 16 years, I believe. But it was a very different kind of place, wasn't it, with Bob Martin here in terms of kind of some of the rules and regulations? Can you talk a little bit about your memories of Bob Martin first, and then some of the things that happened here?
Well, yes, like I said, as a freshman, Dr. O'Donnell was the president, and then starting my sophomore year, President Martin came in. And as a student, you know, you really don't feel like you're affected much by the person at the top. You know, it's almost like the person that was chopping cotton that said, you know, when you're chopping cotton, it doesn't make much difference who lives in the big house. And
except with President O'Donnell, you knew him from
I knew
golf
him as an early young man in
yeah.
golf and everything, and you know, speaking, you know, personally with him and things.
But you didn't have that relationship.
I didn't have that
with Bob
relationship
Martin.
with Dr. Martin at that time. I did have some conversations with him, you know, due to athletics and basketball and in passing, because he was very interested in all phases of Eastern, micro interest, really. But the university, well, we were college at that time, State Teachers College, had a lot of rules and regulations that he really made people stick to quite closely. We were small. When I entered in the fall of 1959, I was trying to think, and I think there were around 3,800 students, including graduate students, night classes, full-time students may have been much less than that. The difference between then and now also in the campus dimensions, you know, it was much smaller. Burnham, Sullivan, Case Hall was a new hall for the women. Nothing past Weaver Health Building except Stateland Hall and the University Farm. You know, there was no EKU bypass, no I-75, 3 or 4 restaurants in town. But some of the changes, I think, between then and now in the student body, maybe not so much. Eastern was a school of opportunity then, as it is now. Majority of students were first-generation college students. There was just a camaraderie among students. One eating facility on campus that was in the King Johnson building, where the cafeteria was upstairs in the ballroom. That was the main cafeteria. There was a grill downstairs with a bookstore, some pool tables, table tennis, and students congregated there all the time. That's where you played bridge and all of your other games. You saw probably every student on campus every day, sometime in the grill. The student mailboxes were down there, and I enjoyed that. We had the little post office boxes. Since I was local, I never really got any mail.
But you checked it probably every
Well, I did, and I went one step beyond that. They had the big coffee urn in there that you could buy your little paper cup for your coffee for like 5 or 10 cents, whatever it was, you know, and you could drink coffee all day out of that cup. Well, I would put mine in my mailbox and get it the next day and use it. The young lady that was in the post office fussed at me regularly about that, but she didn't really mind too much. I had spoken earlier about some of the rules and regulations for women. At that time, the college and the President Martin, felt very strongly about protecting the women on campus. And they had Miss Case, I think, was the Dean of Women. The young ladies had hours in the dorms. They had to be in, I think, freshmen at 9 o'clock during the week. It's either 10, I think it's 11 maybe on Friday and Saturday night, 10 o'clock on Sunday, and then again, you know, it was 9 o'clock starting Monday again. They had to go to class in dresses or skirts. No slacks were allowed in any of the classes. After 5 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon, they could put their slacks on or their Bermuda shorts and, you know, and things. But
Almost sounds like a church college, and you know,
well,
my memories is Asbury and some of those places.
Right,
Yeah.
I guess so, but that had kind of been, I think, the previous rules, and President Martin very strongly felt that way.
And probably at Moorhead and Western as well.
They all probably had the same hours, and like I said, the girls had to be in their rooms after 11 o'clock or lights out. And, I know my wife, who was an undergraduate student at that time, said that, you know, sometimes they would take flashlights and go in the closet to study because they didn't want to be caught, you know, out. They would be what they call campused. And they would have to maybe be in all weekend on campus, and every hour on the hour they'd have to be dressed and go down to the front desk and sign in and then go back to their room. So
I don't want to mention any names, but our producer here, Andre Kinney, said he sometimes got his girlfriend in late. We won't tell anybody that, but that's just a different culture altogether, isn't it?
Yes. Remember the warning signal was that if the girls had to be in at 10 o'clock, at like 5 minutes till 10, the dorm mother would flash the porch lights. You would see the lights flashing, and if you had your girlfriend in the car or you were standing out front, you knew you had 5 minutes that she had to be inside the door. So they had the warning signal.